Hey, AfterBuzzers and Floribama fans, we are back. Season 2, Episode 15. Craziness is ensued, and I cannot wait to discuss this crazy restraining order and finally some Gus and Nilsa action. This is Pubescent Boy and Girl Code Red, so stick around.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
And I was like, why are you so obsessed with me?
Depict better what's happening with Nilsa and Gus, and I cannot wait to get into it because, man, oh man, we were all shaking our heads. We've all been waiting for this moment, and it happened, guys. It happened, but welcome back. We are here after a long-awaited hiatus. It is Episode 15, Season 2. I'm your host, Ally Nasta here, and it's just me tonight. Hopefully, we'll be having some other hosts join us throughout the season, but for now, you're stuck with me, and I hope you enjoy it. I'm excited to break it down for you. Man, where do we even begin? Because obviously, last season, we stopped the show with all the Logan craziness, the almost pregnancy scare. Gus and Nilsa did or didn't have sex. We weren't sure. Now we open up and we find out they didn't actually have sex. So they kind of like let it fizzle out a little bit. But we'll get to that at the end of the show. Let's start with Jeremiah. I think that this was a really fun episode for him because obviously he's always so protective over Kourtney. And we saw that a lot throughout the entire restraining order issue. But it was fun to see him finally connect and be there for a different lady in the house, which was Amy. He was so nice and opening. And I think Amy kind of needed that push that she was holding back from. She has all these pent-up emotions and insecurities about her past relationships, and I know we all love Amy because she's such a sweetheart, even though she's had some issues in the past. She just means so well, and it's so hard to kind of see her go through these struggles because she is so beautiful, and we've all been there before. We've all had those exes that have really brought us down and kind of given us those thoughts and feelings that even though it's been a year, which it has with Amy, and a year isn't enough to get over the emotional distress of what her ex caused her. So I thought it was so important that Jeremiah was there for her and to kind of have him be that little push, because clearly Nilsa was more worried about Gus in the situation. Yes, she did push Amy in the right direction to get her with Scott and to kind of get her to flirt with her. But I thought it was fun to kind of see that relationship bloom and blossom because we haven't really seen them have a connection yet in the house. And we usually always see the same friendships. Obviously, the guys stay together. Courtney and Candis kind of have their friendship, and then just always Nilsa and Amy. So I thought that was really fun to kind of see that relationship kind of be there and see Jeremiah that he's not only just there for Courtney, even though all the girls think that he is, and that might be on a different level of caring and being there, but it just goes to show he's a good guy and he wants the best for everybody. And again, Amy, if you're ever listening to our podcast, I want you to know, girl, you are so special. You are so great. You are so amazing. That rap was beyond stellar. It was awesome. But it just sucks that we all have things that haunt us from our past, and it's really hard to move on. And I think that Amy just she mentioned a bunch of times, it's really hard to let go of the past, and it's hard to let go of those insecurities that have kind of shaped you to the person that you are today, because it's traumatizing. But she did a really great job. I'm really happy that she did put herself out there and she made the guy stay. Scott stayed. Unfortunately, they got a little too crazy, a little too tipsy, and Scott fell asleep. But Amy, girl, you did it. You pushed yourself outside of your comfort zone and you flirted a little bit, which was amazing. Something that I would like to mention, which is really cool, is Nilsa's been doing this really cool closet thing. If you guys follow her on Instagram, obviously, we all love Instagram. We love clothes. We love style. But I have to tell you, there is an app called Poshmark. And what it is you can go on there, you can sell all of your clothes, you can buy clothes, and it has everything you can ever imagine. It's got so many, actually, it has It has name brand things. Anything you could possibly imagine, you can get on Poshmark. And so you can get everything new there. So stop shopping from stores and you can shop from million closets across America. It's amazing. It's so great. I've actually even had my sister, she sells clothes on there, and she's shown me all of the great, amazing things that she sold, as well as things that she's bought for so cheap. She bought this amazing leather jacket for like $10. It was awesome. Just go download the free, my favorite word, Poshmark app, and it carries women, kids, and men, and they have tons of brands to shop from. Just, that you can get Michael Kors. You just won't even believe the deals that you'll find on Poshmark. So please go check it out. It's the easiest way to go buy and sell fun fashion trends and go buy them yourself. And obviously we all love clothes. Shipping is easy for both the seller and the buyer. It's super fast shipping. And if you see something you want, you can just make a trade. Like sometimes you don't even need to sell something in order to make the money. You can just trade something that you already have on the app. Like, how amazing is that? You can share your Poshmark closet handle to your friends, or if you have fans on Instagram, it's super easy. They've got a great sharing option, and it's basically like it's Black Friday every day on Poshmark. They have off designer brands like Louis Vuitton, Michael Kors, Tory Burch for a deal. I mean, forget about Cyber Monday. It's like November. It's giving November all week long. I don't even know how to say it, but basically, guys, go to download Poshmark, and if you're listening right now, AfterBuzz will get you $5 off of your first purchase. Just enter the invite code AfterBuzz in all caps when you sign up, and that again is the invite code is AfterBuzz, all caps. You will get $5 off. Go get it right now, Poshmark, because we all want to be super stylish for cheap, Get great deals. But going back and shifting over to the house, to the Floribama house, Kourtney, man, oh man, did this girl just, drama follows her, and she is just a little wild child. We were all up in arms about the whole Logan situation last season, and it was really hard to see her go through all this turmoil, and not to mention Logan shows up everywhere, and we're all just wondering, does he have a tracking code? We don't know, because every bar they go to, he shows up at somehow, some way or another. But it turns out that this time around, when they go to No Name and he goes there and starts this whole fight, he was apparently going, I don't know, he showed up at a friend's house that night, almost was arrested, then was arrested the next day. Trouble just follows this guy, and he's just insane. And so obviously Kourtney the next day is realizing, not only has this put so much emotional distress on my life, it's putting it on my friend's life, her family, her mom, who she cares deeply about. I can't even imagine what she's going through, because she does make some good points. We've all been in a breakup. It's all very hard. But I just personally couldn't imagine going through something like this and knowing that it's affecting my friends and my family, because I care so deeply. And if I know my loved ones are going to be affected by something that was technically, I guess, somehow in some way my decision, or something that it was from my fault, like, I would feel terrible. And obviously Kourtney's going through that, and I think the line that was drawn for her was through her mom. And when her mom sent her that text message, I think it was just kind of like, all right, we need to get this deal sealed. And so finally she gets a restraining order of this man, which I'm actually shocked it even took this long. And apparently he's got weapons on him. He had a knife on him when he was arrested after the fact, after the restraining order. And it's just crazy to think what this man is capable of. And I have to remind myself, too, that this is reality television. How scary. They're all at a bar fighting with this man who apparently was carrying a knife. I don't even understand. But obviously, Kourtney is safe now. She's protected herself. She's got a restraining order. And what was great to see is that obviously the police enforcement was very supportive of her decision to do this. And they had to go make some statements. Jeremiah has been super supportive throughout the whole thing because he cares about her safety, which I also think cares about her at a different level. I don't know about you guys. I feel like last season I was a little on and off on if I thought Jeremiah and Kourtney were going to get together or be in a relationship. And I think that this season we're starting to edge closer and closer towards them becoming a couple, because they're the bond they have, I think that they complement each other so well because Jeremiah is kind of the voice of reason and Kourtney's kind of like the whatever, but her emotions can be so high at times and Jeremiah kind of brings her down. And I think them together would just make a great pair. But I just don't know if Jeremiah is ready to be in a relationship, and he hasn't really talked about that since last season. So I don't really know what's going on there, but I'm very interested to see where this relationship goes this season. Man, speaking of relationships, let's get into the whole Gus and Nilsa craziness. So obviously we know Nilsa is very protective over Gus and gets really, up in arms if Kourtney does anything to kind of flirt with Gus. But my biggest thing is that Kourtney is never flirting with Gus. I understand it's kind of, obviously she mentioned girl code many times and that Kourtney had broken it. But do you guys think that she actually broke girl code when she's just clearly napping with Gus because she's super hungover and she probably doesn't even know what's happening right then and there because she's just like, I don't even care. I just want a blanket. I just want to go back to sleep because I'm hungover. I don't think that she ever has any ill intentions and I don't think she would ever want to get with Gus. But at the same token, I kind of understand where Nilsa's coming from because obviously this guy doesn't want to be with you. And so to see him with someone else just cuddling, it's just very alarming because he's not giving you that type of attention, even though she doesn't want that type of attention. She doesn't want an attention of just a friend. She wants attention of a relationship, a boyfriend, a potential lover for Pete's sake. So I think that it's just a very sensitive topic, but it's really hard to watch sometimes because also, sorry, I'm like switching my thoughts really quick, but I just can't get over the fact that Gus was basically like, I want you, Nilsa, in season 1. And obviously now that she can't have him and it's been such a struggle for her, she wants him. And this whole struggle has been a constant chase. And he mentioned that this episode about how she wants him to chase her, but he's not. But then that seems like it's making her want him even more. The chase is just so real for her. And the fact that she legitimately told Gus and admits her feelings, says exactly how she's feeling, and she's hoping to get another answer. And he just basically was like, I don't really want this. I don't want to be with you. I don't want to hurt you. And I think it was awesome of Gus because he was telling the truth. He was like, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to do this. And he said it over time and time again, over and over and over. So like at some point, like, he's just like, well, I mean, I've told her many times that I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to mess anything up with our friendship. I don't want to get emotionally involved. And he doesn't anyway. So Nilsa it sucks because she's kind of forcing her way in there. And I get she's like, feel with your heart, not with your head. But I just don't know if Gus is there. And I don't know if he'll ever be. And I'm wondering if maybe he is just like really putting up a front. But the fact that he's going to the other guys in the house and telling him like, I don't have a necklace that says property of Nilsa, that's hurtful. If I were Nilsa and I were to have seen that episode air, I'd be really hurt because it's like, oh, so he really doesn't like me. This is real. And maybe that's what she needed. I'm not sure, but I mean, I feel bad for Nilsa because we all know what she deserves and she shouldn't be chasing after something that clearly doesn't want her back. And she's had terrible relationships in the past, so this isn't something she should be chasing after. Just like Kodai and Kirk were mentioning, these girls need to realize their worth. They are worth so much more than the guys that they've put in their life. And they couldn't have said it better themselves. They do deserve the world. They deserve everything. And so it's just really hard to kind of see them all go through this and not realize that, like, you know what? I need to go after a good guy. I need to go after a guy that really wants me for who I am. And you shouldn't have to force it. As soon as you have to force something, I feel like it's almost too far gone at that point because there's always going to be a push and pull and there's always going to be someone that kind of wants more than the other. And it needs to be a team. It needs to be 50-50. You can't be forcing someone to like you or feeling like that person doesn't like you back. And that's when those insecurities start to fester and boil. And that's when jealousy and stuff ensues. So I don't know. We'll have to see where that plays out. Obviously, it looks like even though they didn't do it last time, Gus and Nilsa might have done it this time. And Candis and Kourtney are just there to watch it all happen. And Candis said it best herself, and she's like, we are way too close, which, yeah, I don't think I could watch something like that go down. I would probably leave the room because that's a little too close for comfort. But, I mean, hey, it's the Floribama house. Anything goes down and anything can happen. I want to talk about Kourtni for a second and mention how he has made multiple passes at Candis and Amy in just this episode. He mentions to Candis about how, like, I've been here, I will take you on a date, I'm here when you're ready, and mentions that, and then also talks to Amy about making babies. And I've always kind of thought that he had more of a thing for Amy, but now he's mentioning these things about Candis, and we see in the previews for the rest of the season that he might take her on a date. So I'm just wondering, what's going on, Kourtni? Like, who do you like? Are you just, not to be rude, but are you desperate to just kind of have a girl's attention, and so you're just going after the only girls that are kind of technically single in the house? Or, well, Candis, we don't know yet, but you know what I mean. It's just kind of like, I get it, you're kind of a lovey, fun, nurturing guy, and you just kind of want to be there for the girls, but I don't know if you actually have real feelings towards them, or you're just trying to, like, shoot the crap and just be like, oh, well, you're here, I'm just going to make these comments and see what happens. I can't tell if he's serious or not, but you guys let me know in the comments below, because I'm not exactly sure. Which leads me to the whole question with Candis and Gator J. This really hurts me, and it's so hard to kind of watch this go down because Candis mentioned, obviously the terrible things that Gator has done to her and has consistently shown her reasons why they shouldn't be together. And it really breaks my heart that she even says that she still, even though, her friends don't like him, her parents don't like, she can't help who she loves. I understand that to an extent, but at the same token, it really is just heartbreaking to know that, like the guy said, she needs to know her worth. She needs to know that even though she thinks this is love, this is not love. This is almost like you're trying to seek approval, and you should never, like I mentioned before, have to force someone to feel the same ways about you or treat you a certain way. That's not okay. The moment someone lays your hand on you, you need to be out that door seconds before that should even happen. But even though she's saying she's going back and forth, we've all been through breakups. We all know how hard they are to kind of get away from someone that you felt so comfortable with and you were so vulnerable with at one moment or time. And that is hard. And I think the progression of this is showing that she's definitely going to finally let him go. It's just taking her time. And I was really, really proud to see her mention, I don't want to talk to him on the phone. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get into those feels or anything. So that was exciting. And even the guys were kind of shook, like, oh, she doesn't even want to talk to him. That happened fast. I don't even know what's going down. So I'm really hoping that she can finally, by the end of this season, let Gator J go, because she is such a powerful, strong, amazing woman. And she deserves she deserves the world, just like all of these girls do. And just like Amy deserves a prince, her merman, she deserves someone, they all deserve their other halves. And I think it stinks to see that, everybody always says the moment you stop chasing for something is the moment it's going to come to you. And I feel like all the girls right now, besides Kourtney really, are chasing something that they need to just let come to them. But at the same time, it is hard if you have feelings for someone that you live with and you can't really let go of them, because all of us can just go out in the world and meet someone else. But then here we are with Gus and Nilsa, and Nilsa just has to see him when she's drunk, and that's when everything goes down. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, and I'm really excited. One last thing before we kind of close up here. I'm sorry if things were short. It's just me tonight. But I would really like to say how I'm excited that Gus finally opened up to the entire house about how he's sensitive and he doesn't want the girls to mention that again. And I think that it was a stand-up friend of Kirk to mention, I'm sick of you girls talking about how sensitive he is when you don't know what he's gone through. You don't know his background story. And as soon as he opens up to the girls, they are super remorseful of the actions and the behaviors that they've taken towards him, especially because a couple weeks ago, or however many days this might have been, they were in New Orleans, and Amy is sitting there, calling him the exact words that he's uncomfortable being told. And so I think this just kind of is a lesson to anybody in the world to think, okay, if you're going through something hard, you don't know, your words really do play factors into people's lives. And we've seen that happen many of times where a lot of these people in this house are affected by the words that people have said to them in one way or the other. So the fact that you might have been affected by that, why do you think it's okay to call someone else an insult? Being called weak is never okay. Being called, sensitive, it is a little offending and offensive. And maybe it's not offensive to you because you're the one saying it, but maybe think about how someone else would feel. How would you feel? And I think that's something that they're all kind of realizing, oh, wow, my words have actions, and I need to make sure I become better and more aware of how that makes the other person feel. And so hopefully we'll see a little bit of that. I think we've got some maturity happening, which is great. Kourtney's growing up, except the fact that she might have not thrown up an entire cornbread or burger. I don't exactly know, but that was very interesting. And geez, glad she's okay the next day, because whenever she gets drugged, sometimes it's a little worrisome. But we all love them. They're great. This house is fun. I wish that I had some more people to talk with right now, but I hope this kind of gave us all a little bit of some fun chatter to talk about at the end of this amazing 2-hour-long Floribama kickoff of Season 2, Episode 15 after the long hiatus. I love you guys. I'm excited for this season. Hopefully, the rest of our panel will be joining us, and we'll have a lot more to discuss. Please make sure that you comment below. Let us know what you want to hear, if there's any special segments or anything, as well as follow us on Spotify and iTunes and give us 5 stars. We love you guys so much. But for now, I'm your host, Ally Nasta. You can find me on social media at AllieGirl. We will see you next week. Bye!
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.